Thursday marked the 90th anniversary of the Social Security Act, which seeks to provide older Americans with economic stability. According to AARP, over 69 million Americans receive Social Security, a figure that it expects to reach 82 million by 2035. In a survey conducted by the organization, 2/3 of Americans view Social Security as more important to retirees today than 5 years ago. Joining me now for more on this anniversary is Beth Finkel, AARP's New York State Director. Beth, welcome to the New York Stock Exchange.
Thank you so much for letting me be here.
So everyone knows AARP, but can you tell me a little bit more about the services that AARP offers and how you are connected to Social Security?
Well, first and foremost, AARP does advocacy and public policy, and Social Security is the most important issue to AARP, but also to our over 37 million members, and quite frankly, every American, really.
So yesterday was Social Security's 90th birthday. What did AARP do to celebrate this occasion?
Well, all across this country, we had over 300 events for this celebration. 90 years is a very long time, and in fact, they have never missed a payment in all those 90 years. And you're so right, we did survey people, and we know how important Social Security is to them. Although there was a diminishment in the confidence in Social Security.
Okay, so people essentially, whether they know it or not, are paying into Social Security for their entire careers.
That's
most
right.
people. You describe it as an earned benefit, not a privilege. Can you talk a little bit more about this?
Sure. Well, I'm sure when I say this to you, you'll think immediately of yourself, but I started paying in. I was 16 years old. I was in the basement of a women's clothing store checking in merchandise. Everyone has that story of when they first worked and when that first amount came out of FICA. People say, and who is FICA? And so we've all paid in. As a matter of fact, right now there's 183 million Americans paying into Social Security right now. So yes, we earned it. We've worked very hard. I've worked for decades.
And that was, you had a bus tour in New York City. Can you tell me the name? What was it called again?
It was, it was a Times Square takeover because AARP is so committed to the future of Social Security that we wanted to celebrate the 90th, but we also wanted to, just as you said, look forward to 2035 and what has to be done for 2035.
Okay, so can you share some personal stories that you heard perhaps on the bus tour or just in your work with AARP of the impact that Social Security is having on people?
Well, you know, Social Security is about aging with dignity. I mean, that's the basis of it, and allowing people to make the choices that they want to make for their future. And without finances, you cannot do that. And so that's why Social Security is so key. And yes, we hear that again and again from our members and for the general public. I mean, one of our volunteers so eloquently said last night, she was in her 50s. She had worked her whole life, and she had a stroke, and she could no longer work. And without the disability piece of Social Security, she doesn't know how she would be paying her bills now. My uncle passed away at a very early age. He left a 3-year-old son and his wife pregnant. And all those years, Social Security paid the widow's benefits and the dependent children benefits. Otherwise, I don't know what that family would have done.
Do payment amounts for Social Security vary based on how much you earn throughout your career? And can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So the basis is you have to have worked, they call it 40 quarters, which is about 10 years. And that's kind of the minimum level of Social Security benefit, and then it goes up from there. So the longer you work, the more money you put in, the more that you end up getting as your benefit from what you've paid into Social Security.
And is it fair to say the benefit start age is age 62? Is that correct?
It is 62, but that's not full retirement age for Social Security. It varies according to how old you are, but for most Americans right now, 67 is the age that you can retire with full benefits. But anywhere between 62 and 67 you can. And by the way, if you're one of those fortunate few who can hold off till the age of 70, you're going to get much more because it compounds so much more those last years that you don't take it.
And if people, our viewers watching, need to learn more about Social Security, can they reach out to AARP? And please tell us how.
Absolutely. If you go on AARP.org, we actually have a Social Security toolkit that you can go in and you can actually calculate what your Social Security is going to be and see different permutations for yourself, but also to get some really good hints about where to go, what to do, and how to manage your Social Security.
Beth Finkel, AARP's New York State Director, thank you so much for joining us and teaching us more about Social Security at the New York Stock Exchange.
My pleasure.